Welcome. The Collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we ask of you is to sit and listen. But listen to the vibration, listen to the frequency as it is. What connects you to the information, the understandings, the teachings, and the healings. The words will be processed in time, but it is this vibration that will settle within each and every one of you who sit now in this vibration, in this frequency. This energetic space that each and every one of you experience each and every day. Your existence, your life, your placement here upon this planet. What is it that is special to you? What is it that it brings you into each day? Is it the frequency? Is it the vibration? Is it the connectedness? Or is it something greater? This vibration that brings you about each day, this vibration, this frequency that enters into each and every one of you each day does bring you a bit closer to an understanding. It does bring you a bit closer to healing. But is it something greater? Is there something greater that you are expecting rather than knowing? This is the question. Do you know, or are you expecting? Do you know that there is a greater energy, a greater force, a greater existence, a greater place that each and every one of you are connected to? Or are you expecting that to be revealed to you? Two different places, two different experiences. Many of you do have moments of knowing, but spend most of the time expecting. But what we would like you to understand is this: the knowing is already there. The knowing is already there inside each and every one of you, but it is for you to unlock it. Without expectation, without hesitation, but with the clarity of understanding that it is already inside you. For you have brought that with you. When you have contracted your life here as a human on this planet, you brought that knowing, that greater source, that greater understanding that there is something greater with you. It may not have been unpacked immediately upon your arrival. It may have taken some time, but it is there inside of you. What can you do to unpack this? What can you do to reveal this? What can you do to allow it to be present in your experience? The simplest of answers is to surrender. Surrender yourself to the knowing. But in the surrender, have no fear. Have no anticipation. Just surrender. A peacefulness shall fall upon you. A peacefulness of knowing will envelop you. As you slowly step your way through this surrendering, this knowing will fall upon you. It will envelop you. And when it does, allow your vision to be expanded. Allow your knowing to settle right where it should. For this space of knowing that there is a greater source, a greater experience, a greater presence that is all around each and every one of you always, is right there for you. This knowing will be present with you. But many of you try to surrender. Many of you begin the surrendering process, but are enveloped in fear. Fear is just the point at which you do not want to relinquish aspects of self, the humanness, because you feel you must let go of all things in order to enter into a space of knowing that there is a greater presence. You do not. If you speak to the universe and say, I wish to have the greater presence upon me, and I will fully surrender that to you so that I understand, then it shall be. It will not be hidden from you any longer. Only the humanness will put barriers up to shield you from it. You will feel you are not worthy to understand it. You will feel that you are mistaken by what you are understanding. But it is to sit in the peace and understanding and the knowing of the comfort that surrounds you. For that greater presence is here with you now, surrounding each and every one of you. If you take a moment now just to sit, breathe in, allow yourself to experience the presence of that, the vibration that is all around you, the greater presence of all. That is what is before you. So give yourself some time to understand this. Even for those that already understand the greater presence that is before them, reset yourself. Experience it again. Experience it as if you're new to this existence. Experience it as if you were a child, and understand it in a completely different way. So just breathe into that vibration. Surrender to what is around you, and allow your experience to be fulfilled with that greater presence. If you have questions, please begin.
Thank you so very much for that opening message and your presence. This question is for Ty. She's heard that new children who are incarnating in recent years and onward are going to be new souls, and that there won't be any more reincarnated souls coming back to Earth. Can you speak on that, please?
The greater balance of those that are entering into existence here, are of a newer energy. It has not had the experiences as many have. But it is to understand this point of reincarnation. The point of reincarnation is to experience again, is to be brought back in, cycled back in, energetically, to experience yet again a life cycle. You may have not fulfilled a full contract, you may not have cleared all your karmic debt, you may not have put in place those things that needed to take place in that existence. And you are then brought back in to fulfill those things. That can be looked upon as reincarnation. For these new souls, these new energies that are coming into the planet, many of them are coming in as first-time energies. Many of them are coming in as direct galactic alignment individuals. There is a cycle of energy that your planet is going through that is requiring specifically new energy. When you discuss new energy, one must understand what new energy is, a new soul, what that is, and what the effects are for this particular time frame that they will be in existence. For when they start their existence, they are just as any soul energy that enters into this existence. They are setting out on a path of a contract that is pre-assigned. They will be clearing, they will be cleansing, they will be clearing their karmic debt, they will be doing all the necessary things. But this new energy is bringing in a higher level of awareness, a higher level of knowing, teachings, if you were. They are bringing this in, and it will be evident much quicker. There will not be the processing time of growing into one's existence. It will start almost immediately. It is then to foster these individuals into their own existence so that they can begin to teach, so that they can begin to heal. That is a correct statement that there is newer energy coming in. But it is also true that there are a legacy, reincarnation energies coming to the planet as well. This is an ongoing cycle. It is necessary for the fulfillment of the planet. It is purposeful.
Thank you for that. Diana's husband has suffered a challenging stroke and is still having some issues sensing the left side of his body and issues with the eyesight, but has made a remarkable comeback in a few months' time. Is there anything else that they can do that perhaps the doctors aren't aware of, or anything else she can assist with to help him return to full health, please?
Full assistance with the energetic structures surrounding an envelope of energy throughout the physical body will help facilitate a greater level of healing. The physical body itself has to repair itself, but this envelope of energy, in particular, crystalline energy, a crystalline envelope of energy must be formed around this individual. Within that space, the ionizing charge of this crystalline bubble will then will calm each of the cells in order for them to begin the healing process in a much more rapid fashion. So it is to begin the envisioning of this crystalline structure, this crystalline bubble. Envision it as you wish, in your own understanding, forming it around the body, assisting where you need to. But as you do, realizing that once the body is encapsulated within this crystalline structure, then it is then for you to support the structure with your own energy, with your own process of energy, and allowing it then to do its own work in its own rapid fashion.
Wonderful. And can you tell, is there anything in particular that Diana has already done that has helped him most?
The most significant connection point, the pairing of the energies, that has not decreased, though physically, yes. From Diana's standpoint, it is the transmission of her energy, her connectedness to her husband. It is this that is facilitating any other healing. But once this crystalline structure is built, it will be amplified through that process.
Wonderful. Good to know. Thank you. So Samantha is curious about a farm that she's visited in Brunson, South Carolina. Some would refer to it as having paranormal activity. She has sensed activity above ground on this plane, but she's also sensing an energy from a source that feels physical but not of this planet, perhaps ET, seeming to come from underground. Recently, a horse that was very calm with no known health issues was found outside its paddock dead, and now there's another horse under duress there. Can you tell us about this paranormal activity? Is it in the house and it's linking to what's happening outside of the house? And is there any guidance for Samantha on helping to calm that energy?
There is a vortex structure that sits on the property itself. This vortex structure is emanating from within Mother Earth. She's utilizing this vortex to discharge great amounts of energy, dissipating what has been brought into Mother Earth. Those times at which you shed energy from yourself, transmuting, allowing Mother Earth to bring that into herself. Her process of transmuting that energy is to release it through vortexes out to the universe, then to be scattered and absorbed and transmuted further. What can be done to adjust this or narrow the aperture of this vortex is to envision a series of rings that can be turned, one counterclockwise, one clockwise, constricting that vortex down to just one narrow point. Right now it is extremely wide. It is consuming most of the property. It needs to be brought in. This is just a natural aspect that takes place. In time, this vortex will be closed off. This are, just like many vortexes, temporary in nature to alleviate pressure, to alleviate energy within a specific area. So this portal has been opened up, or this vortex has been opened up, encircling most of this property. But it is to envision rings that can then be constricted around it, bringing it into a narrow area. Find a location somewhere adjacent to where the animals that are in distress are, off to the side, moving it. As you control the stream of energy, you then can manipulate it by moving it to a said area, placing it there. That's where it will remain until it diminishes itself.
And so that is the result or the reason for the horse to have died?
It is not the sole reason for the horse's transition. The horse's transition was naturally based, but it was amplified by this extreme amount of energy. What is being felt in the house as well, as this vortex is open, any structures, any residual energies that are in the vicinity of this vortex will be activated. If there are those that are not fully transitioned and they wish to remain on the property, just because that is their property, they will be reanimated. They will be re-energized. You may sense them. You may see them. They will walk about the property. But as you constrict this energy and move it, that will be the location that it will be centered.
So that should help what's going on in the house as well?
This is correct.
Good, thank you so much. Catherine is curious who her star family is, or where is her galactic home, please.
The closest galactic alignment is the Syrian connection. That is the most prominent for the experience in this lifetime. The originating cluster is Andromeda. That is the originating cluster that she has come from, but the closest connection point in this existence is Syrian.
Wonderful, thank you. Wendy is curious if you have any advice for her over the next couple of months, please. Anything she needs to know?
Prepare oneself for the incoming influx of energy. You in particular, there will be a shift in energy that is going to feel a bit unstable. This is not the case, though physically it will feel unstable. What is taking place is the frequency band in which you are associated with at this particular point, this frequency band of energy that is sustaining you, is going to shift into a higher frequency level. And at the point of transition, it will feel a bit out of balance, a bit unstable. Pay it no mind, but just allow yourself to experience this bit of unstable energy. Within the unstable energy, you will be given a depth of understanding. You will retain what you understand from the lower frequency band. And as you transition through and up into the next frequency band, you will then be downloaded a significant amount of information that will lay dormant. This download that you will begin to receive will feel a bit overwhelming. Breathe. Remember to breathe. As you're being filtered with this information, give it time. Within the next 3 to 4 months, that what lay dormant will begin to unlock. Your senses will change. The physicality of your senses will be amplified beyond a point they are now. You'll feel before you feel. You'll feel touch before you are touched. You'll hear much that is around you, but you'll have the ability to pinpoint what is to be heard. Those are the two primaries. The rest will unlock, but give it time.
Amazing, thank you. Patty's curious whose ship is above her house, and do they have a message for her, please?
The Galactic Federation of Crystalline Beings, that is their primary ship that is above you. Their transmission that you are receiving is one that is of higher dimensional plane. It will take some adjustment. Their broadcast to you is this: look above, gaze upon, lock into, and receive. As you begin to receive, begin to speak. As you begin to speak, the vibration will grow stronger. That is your connection frequency. As you begin to speak, begin to notate. Understanding what is coming in through the Federation will be then scribed for you and others to read. Allowing this vibration to settle with you will permanently lock you into their frequency for their transmissions.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. Adrian just created a Tachyon Chamber. Do the Pleiadians or any other guides have anything to say to her about that, please?
The Pleiadian Council wishes to bid you greetings. We understand what you have created, and we are much appreciative. For this connection point that you have made here upon your planet is purposeful. You have not been drawn to this by coincidence. You understand you've fully resonated with our connection, allowing yourself to fully integrate into our knowledge. The Tachyon Chamber that you have created, in conjunction with those that have produced it for you, have been directly guided by us. We've been bringing that information to your planet for some time. There are many others that produce them as well. They are all infused with the same energy. Understanding your true understanding of your galactic alignment will only amplify this process of your Tachyon Chamber. It will open the portal of tachyon particles to enter in at an extreme velocity, allowing those that enter into the chamber to be fully energized and fully cleansed through that process. So, introducing it to another human in a way in which they understand what is to take place is best done with a higher understanding. As you bring in your information, channel it through us as you begin to speak to those that wish to enter the chamber. You will feel the resonance. You will feel the vibration. This is you being charged with the tachyon particles. Each word will then emanate with the tachyon particle. It will be received by those that will be entering the chamber, filling them with this energy. Once they enter the chamber, then it is up to us to fully envelop them and begin the healing process.
Beautiful. Before you go, can you shed some light on what happened during my session? I know what I experienced, but what else do I not know, please?
The infusion of energy that you were receiving, this amplified energy, this is beginning the process of change within. The physical structures are realigning. Your DNA have already been activated, but it is the physical structures that now must align vibrationally. You have already experienced much of a greater sense of connection. You've experienced a greater level of knowing who and what you are connecting to. This realignment throughout the physical body, the shedding of the existing framework, and rebuilding a new framework from within is going to allow your energies to fully connect and allow the transmissions to fully flow through you.
Thank you. And what is interesting is when we spoke to you about this over a year ago, before she had built that, you said that it would be particularly helpful for those who had a Pleiadian bloodline or connection. And since then, I found out that Will and I both have the originating starseed cluster of the Pleiades. So is that still accurate, that those who are connected to the Pleiades benefit even more, or how does that work?
Understanding if you are of an original Pleiades source cluster, you are infused with the tachyon particles, though they may be laying dormant. They are always present. Once you have activated them, either through the chamber or knowing your Pleiades connection and allowing it then to activate those particles, it will be amplified.
But to be clear, anybody can benefit as well?
This is correct. It is for all humanity, not just those that are of galactic alignments.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for all of that helpful information. Alex is curious if his Arcturians have a message for him this evening, please.
Good evening, Commander. We will greet you the best of wishes. We would like to express to you that you have been doing much for yourself, which is exceptional. Taking the time for oneself, to explore oneself, to release from much of what has been building within is exceptional. The project is still on track. Do not worry. It is being laid appropriately. Your personal experiences will begin to amplify once again. Your personal connections will begin to amplify once again. You are cycling through a period of time for self and now entering into a time of connection. Start slowly, allowing this then to build again within. The visions, what you see and what you understand that is laid before you will become much more clear than it has in the past. Allowing this time to process has been useful. It is now a new beginning. It will start immediately.
Wonderful, thank you. And this question is for the collective or whomever wishes to answer, but Maria has a birthday in a couple of weeks. What should she focus on in the coming year, and how should she spend this birthday, please?
For this annual cycle of existence here upon your planet, allow yourself to experience it with others. Allow yourself to be filled by others. Allowing your energy just to settle and become more human than energetic. Allowing yourself to experience all those that are around you for who they are, for what they bring into your existence. Allowing that to fill your day. For what is to come in the year, the next cycle, there is much that is laid before you. For you understand what you've already checked off on your life plan. But it is to understand there is an amplification mid-cycle of what you are currently doing. There will be an amplification to the point at which you'll have to make a decision. A great decision point of what you are doing energetically. It is not to make the decision, shall I or shouldn't I? But it is more in the direction of, where shall I go with it? What should I be doing with it? How much should I be growing in this? Is this the right growth? For this amplification will be those that will be seeking you in greater amounts, expanding your presence, but also confining you a bit. And this is where the decision point will make its awareness. So be aware of that. But that, for the rest of the cycle, will be yours and only yours.
Perfect, thank you. In 1996, there was a UFO event in Varginha, if I'm saying it correctly, Brazil. Apparently there was a craft that crashed. Someone claims to have captured one of the ET beings and then developed an infection and died. Can you tell us what happened back in 1996, please?
This particular year cycle, 1996, was a very active cycle around your planet. Energetically, your sphere, your planetary experience was changing. There was much that was taking place upon your planet. Energetically, there were a number of points at which energies were being transmitted out and being received by many galactic systems. They came in response, just as they do. That you must understand, as your planet or a collective of beings upon your planet all experience similar energies, and that is then expressed out to the universe. It is responded to in many different ways, that being some galactic responses, and more you would begin to observe more galactic presence around your planet. In this case, yes, it was being responded to, not only there in that location, but all around your planet. In this particular incident, it wasn't so much that this craft crashed. You have to understand that the probability of a craft of that type of intelligence is not going to randomly crash into your planet, though it is manipulated by technology upon your planet. And once it is manipulated, then it does lose its navigational aspect. And so, in terms of crashing, yes, it is brought into the planet, more controlled than crashed. And yes, the being upon this particular craft, small in size, more of a observer craft than a larger craft that may exist a bit further out. This particular being was then, yes, captured is not the correct term, though that is what the human society would wish to believe. There is an equal agreement for when your earth-planed technology interferes with a craft and brings it here to the planet, there is some agreement, loosely termed, that is going to take place. And once that being then is brought into a facility, your human existence is not designed to be in close proximity to a being of such nature. In an energetic form, which many of you have experienced, that is one aspect. But in the physical aspect, again, these beings then being in a much lower dimensional plane, very similar to yours, they have their own life support systems, their own protective membranes, their own protective energetic charge. And what was experienced by the human was just that, their connection to that. The human body is not capable of sustaining that connection, and it will then perish in time. It is similar to being introduced to high levels of radiation. The physical body is not aligned to consume that, though many alien species are aligned to accumulate high levels of radiation that you would understand.
Thank you. And what race was that being from?
This would have been a Zeta hybrid. Zeta being the lowest dimensional plane that it could exist in physicality, hybridized with Arcturian. So it was a being that would represent itself as a bit taller than your gray Zeta Reticuli being, a bit more slender, a bit grayish blue, cloaked in an energetic film. And that is what is then made contact with the human.
Thank you for that information. What does Elaine need to know? She's had some questions that she hasn't shared. And is she feeling her wings?
The wings are beginning to be presented. And you've witnessed them, you've felt them. They haven't fully extended, but they are present. They're a bit bound. Release yourself into that energy. Allow yourself to flex into that energy and allow those wings to expand. As you allow the wings to expand, once that energy fully enwraps you, the questions, this question, the question mark, the answers will be there. The question of presence, the question of being present physically, energetically, intertwined, is a yes. This question of movement, throughout this energetic spectrum, this understanding of how to navigate, that is what the wings are for. It will help you glide through the energetic spectrum. landing where you wish, receiving the information you are expecting. The encoding that you are receiving, this encoding of information, will begin to pass the lips. As you receive this encoded message throughout your dream state, and throughout the times in which you are quiet while you are driving, these encoded messages will begin to pass the lips fluently. This is all representative of the wings beginning to expand. As the wings begin to expand, you begin to breathe. You begin to breathe the energy, and it will lighten each one of the questions.
Beautiful, thank you. And before we close, do you have a final message for us, please?
The presence that lays before you, this greater presence, many of you are going to feel this in a much more expanded way. The energies that are passing through your planet, you are in another cycle of amplified energy. This will assist you. Vibrationally, that will feel different from the presence, the greater presence. Allow yourself to decipher. Allow yourself to sit with each. It may be discomforting, that energy that is passing through the planet, but that is your growth. That is your expansion upon this planet. But the presence that lays before you, lays all around you, is always here, always present. Understand its vibration, connect to it, and allow yourself to understand and know that you are divinely supported.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for your presence.
Thank you. As always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.